Osio Halito. This is just a video on my take of the Black Panther movie. I just saw it. It was good. I just wanted a little more. What about y'all? Leave your comments below. But I'm going to break down some things that I saw in the movie. Okay? So, we have that Bast energy. Okay? Bast energy is like a depiction of the mother goddess, the black mother that birthed forth the nations. Okay? The Bast energy. You see her up there, that Bast energy. That is the Black Panther, the Black Jaguar, Alekbulan, which is Black Jaguar. Okay? Now, I'm going to relate it to Africa, which is Alekbulan, and the Americas. Okay? In Africa, you have the Leopard, the Black Panther. Okay? In the Americas, you have the Jaguar energy. Okay? They are in the same family. Okay? So, our ancient ancestors, they recognize the spiritual power of divine great spirit in all things, especially the animals. And they took on the spirit of the animals, especially in being warriors. So you have like the Zulu warriors and all kind of warriors in Africa. Okay, and you see them with the leopard skin. Like there's a leopard, okay, and the leopard skin. Also, so you have all of these animals, these fierce big cats, okay, and they took on this energy, and they took it on in a way that is not like the Western way, like we've been taught today. They have took on the spirit of that animal spirit, which is just another depiction of divine great spirit, because divine great spirit lives and breathes in all things, because everything has the breath of life. And so Bast is a depiction of the black mother goddess that birthed forth the nations. Also, the cosmic womb, the black womb. Okay, now the jaguar, the black jaguar, Alekbulan. Okay, the black jaguar has spots on it. And so the spots represent the cosmos, the heavens, the stars, the Milky Way in the heavens. Okay, where that black womb is. Okay, and so our ancestors saw divine great spirit in these animals, and they really took it to the next level. So I went to see the movie. I was ready. I got my Black Panther, Black Jaguar mask. You know, I had my black fur to represent the Black Panther, Black Jaguar. Tivdotsi. Tivdotsi is Jaguar in Cherokee. So, alright y'all, I'm going to break it down. I tried to have some music in the background, but it's not working out so well. So, alright, now, I wanted to relate it to Africa, Alekbulan, so I have some cards with the places where the Bast energy is prevalent, okay? The Bast energy is like the Black Panther, the big black cat, okay? You also have Sekhmet. So, Bast and Sekhmet, Sekhmet is the extreme of the aggressiveness of the ferocious cat. But the Bast energy is more balanced, okay? So, you have Karnak. These are sacred places you can visit. This is about Black History, Melanin History Month. That's what we're in. Okay, Karnak. All right, and they always have the cat goddess or the cat god. But in this case, it's the cat goddess. and they chose Bast, one of my favorite energies to work with. You see, I flow in that because Bast is the protector of women and children, also pregnant women, okay? And that's in Africa, okay? You also have Giza. Okay, you have the great goddess on the Sphinx. The Sphinx is a great goddess, and she has the body of a big, ferocious cat. Okay, her head on top of that is that she rules her beastly nature. Because it's a time to be in beast mode, and it's a time to be level-headed. So, you have Giza, okay? You have Ma'at, okay? Ma'at. Then you have Aset and Osar, which is Isis and Osiris in the background. And they're on the Pyramid of Giza, where the sun and the moon meet, and they can view the cosmos, the heavens, okay? The stars in the sky, the planets, all of that, okay? And so, that is in Africa. So, now, in the Americas, you have the mighty Jaguar, okay? And the Jaguar is a depiction of divine great spirit reigning in the earth realm, okay? Reigning in the earth realm. So, you have that. In the Americas, they had the Jaguar Priesthood. They were warrior priests. They were shamans. And this shamanistic religion was started by the ancient Olmec. And they were Melaninistic Negroid ancestors, or ancient ancestors of the Americas. And this book touches on the pre-Hispanic, before the Spaniards came. Okay, the Olmecs were deeply melanated, and they have connections to Alekbulan, which is Africa today. Okay, they spoke a language called the Mandi language, and the Mandi language is in some of the Quinche Mayan language. The Maya is the Olmec, but they're more like the descendants of the Olmec. And so, they really tapped into the Jaguar energy. The black Jaguar, which is Alekbulan, and the golden Jaguar. The shamans really tapped into the spiritual side of it because they took on those attributes and they transformed. You see a lot of pictures of them transforming into the Jaguar. And this is the ancient book, the book of Shamanic, the Jaguar priest, okay? And they were serious about this shit, okay? So we have that, and this is a place, Alekbulan, okay, in the Americas, Belize, Honduras, places of that nature, okay? So, I'm gonna get a picture of, okay, this is the Olmec, okay? They are recorded to tap into that Jaguar energy. They are the ancient ones, okay? We are descendants of the ancient ones. So this is Black history, Melanin history. And the Americas is tied to Alekbulan, Africa. Go back to Pangea. Research Pangea, what Pangea is, okay? Okay, this is a picture of an Olmec Jaguar priest. They called them Olmec Kukulkans or Olmec Quetzalcoatlus. But they tapped into that Jaguar energy. You see how he is transformed. He has like the mouth and the tongue. He's transforming into the mighty Jaguar. Okay, just like in the Black Panther movie, how he transformed into the Black Panther. And there was a scene when he went in the ancestral realm. He took some herbs. Our ancestors dealt in the herbs. They took these herbs, they call them psychedelics, and they drink the herbs, and the herbs help them go into the astral realm. That's the ancestral realm, the spiritual realm, where you can speak to your ancestors and your guides, divine great spirit, get guidance, okay? And the prince, he did take the drink, and he did travel to the astral realm, and he went in front of a tree, which was represented as the tree of life. Okay, he went to that tree, and there were some Black Panthers on the tree. Okay, it reminded me of the movie Cat People, one of my favorite movies growing up. But those Black Panthers were in the tree, and then one came down, and it was his father. Okay, and so he was in the ancestral realm. And that Black Panther in the movie is a depiction of the mighty Bast energy, the Black Mother Goddess energy. How she's protective over women and children and the people, that energy. And so our ancestors delved into remembering and honoring the ancestors. And here's another picture where you see the Jaguar. This is an Olmec. Olmec XI, which is she, the Tamo Unken. Okay? The Jaguar, the mighty Jaguar. So they tapped into this energy in the Americas and in Alekbulan, Africa. Now, Africa is seen as the mother of civilization, but many ancient books and ancient peoples have their specific place that they feel or that they know is the birthplace of their race, so to speak. Okay, for Alekbulan, Africa, it is Africa, Ethiopia, in that area. And you have surrounding there Nubia and Kemet, okay, which is Egypt today. Okay, that area. So the Bast energy is prevalent there. Okay, and then in the Americas, where the Olmec set up shop, okay, Tamo Ankin, Tabasco, the places where Chichen Itza is, the Great Mound and Pyramids, okay? And so we have Teotihuacan and Chichen Itza, okay? These are places, this one has Kukulkan on the top, and this one has Quetzalcoatl. And these are Messiah figures, which are a depiction of the sun, because the sun is the light of the world. If we didn't have the sun, we wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have light. We wouldn't have the energy to grow food, to sustain us, vitamin E, things of that nature. So if the plants can't grow, we can't eat, okay? And so this is in the Americas. So I did show you Alekbulan, Africa, and the Americas. So we have Teotihuacan and Chichen Itza for the Americas. They have the Jaguar warrior priests, or the Jaguar Knights, and the Eagle Knights. Okay, and Africa, Alekbulan has Zulu warriors and other warriors that take on those animal spiritual aspects. Okay, not only spiritually but physically. The Jaguar, the Black Panther, is known as the Lord of the Night, especially the black one, because it deals with the cosmos, the nighttime sky, where the stars are lit up, the planets, the heavens. Okay, So that is a Night Lord energy. And then the sun, the daytime, the Day Lord energy is like the Golden Jaguar. Okay? Or the lion, so to speak, that sun energy. Okay? And so sometimes they play with the gender roles, even though they always had a man and a woman to complement each other. It was always man and a woman to balance one another. But the moon, the dark, like the Black Panther, the Black Jaguar, is more of the goddess energy, because the goddess flows in the moon, the luna, the lunar energy. And then the masculine is the sun energy. And they depict these things all throughout their hieroglyphs, petroglyphs, codexes. And so this is from some of the codexes in the Americas. These are their hieroglyphs. The Olmec is the foundation. So we have the Black Jaguar and the Golden Jaguar. Okay? And so in Africa and the Americas, like I said, in Africa, they refer to it as the Black Panther energy and the lion energy. Okay, you have Bast, which is the Black Panther energy, and then you have Sekhmet is the Lioness energy. Okay, they were both seen as goddesses, as the mother of the world, civilizations. Okay, and in the Americas with the Olmec, they had the Alekbulan, the Black Jaguar, and then the Golden Jaguar as a depiction of the masculine and feminine energy, okay, together, okay? So balance, balance, balance. So I chose these cards because the characters in the movie, like T'Challa was the prince, the Black Panther, okay? He was more like the Lord of Princes, okay? And this is patterned after a hieroglyph / codex from the Americas. Now, the Olmec were the first to have altars and petroglyphs, their writing. The calendar that you know as the Mayan calendar is the Olmec, the Tamil-Ankan calendar. Okay, and these cards are patterned after their writings, their drawings, their pictures, their petroglyphs, codexes. So this is the Lord of Princes. And so the Prince T'Challa, he really flowed in this, okay? He flowed in this energy because he has some balance to himself. And then the other guy, which was played by Creed, I can't think of his name, but he was like, his regalia was more like the Golden Jaguar, which was kind of crazy to me, but he was flowing in the leopard energy, and then the prince was in the Black Panther energy. So he was more in touch with not only his masculine side, the prince, but his feminine side, meaning divine God and divine goddess lives in us all. Some people flow more in one or the other, and some people have balance. So he had the right idea of how to rule and take care of his people in Wakanda. Wakanda forever. I love that. Wakanda forever. Y'all gotta see it. But the prince really flowed in this balanced energy. He really flowed in the Bast energy. Okay? The protector of his people. And then his cousin, which was the Creed guy, he has some issues, but I understand his issues. He was ready for a revolutionary war. He had the right idea. He had the right idea and the right concepts, but he was just so bitter. He had a lot of bitterness and anger when he could have channeled it to really do it right. But the prince had the spirit for the task to really take care of his people, our people. And the cousin, the Creed guy, he was like, I mean, did y'all hear those gems he was dropping? He was like, they was like, you colonizer, talking about the pink men that were in the movie. The cousin, we'll just say he's kind of like the evil cousin. The evil cousin, the Creed guy, he was angry. Yes, he was angry about what happened to his father, but he was angry that Wakanda, which was a vast, rich empire, just like ancient Kemet, ancient Nubia, was royal, prosperous empire. And so he was mad that the Wakandan empire didn't share with the world. He was like, you know, black people have had struggles all throughout life and history. Where was Wakanda at? Because Wakanda had resources. They had that special metal and technology, in which y'all know all that came from Africa, like cell phones and the diamonds and the crystals that go on the cell phone and all of that. The game came from Alekbulan, Africa, really Pangea, if you want to take it back. Okay? And so he was like, where was Wakanda when all these freedom fighters and revolutionaries needed y'all to help them get our people out of the gutter? Because our people have failed, like our empires fell. Okay, when the invaders came and conquered and divided and conquered and colonized. Okay, so the Creed guy, the evil cousin, he was more like, where was y'all at when all these revolutionaries needed y'all to step up? He was like, we can like take them out and be back on top where we were, return to our formal glory. But basically the prince was kind of like, it's a way to do everything. It's a time and a place and a way to do everything. And he wanted to correct the wrongs of his father and the ancestors before them. But they were saying that they kept Wakanda like a secret, because if the world knew about the vast resources and the vast things of Wakanda, then it will be problems. You know, it's going to be people trying to take it over and all of that and use it for evil purposes, selfish gain, in which is a depiction of how it is today. We, our ancestors, let the invaders in, taught them a little bit of game, and then they turned on our ancestors and then infiltrated, took over, conquered, and divided us against each other. So when they were like fighting each other in the movie, I saw that, how, you know, how we fight each other sometimes, how that's not good for our people. But the invaders did that, divide and conquer, making us think that we are separate, like Alekbulan Africans and the Americas, the Americans, the melanated Aboriginal indigenous Americans that are descendants of the ancient ones, the Olmec, the Shi, the Tamo Anken. We are one with our African cousins. Okay? We are one. Remember Pangea. Research Pangea. It's your homework assignment for Melanin History Month, Black History Month. But you have these two characters. Now, I didn't touch on, okay, I touched on the prince and the cousin. Okay, this one was the divine stone. Now, the divine stone is a black obsidian like knife or arrowhead. It is designed to cut through anything that's in your life that is not serving you, like bitterness, anger, and hatred. If it's not serving you, then you need to cut it out your life, get rid of it. And so the evil cousin, I felt him. I felt his anger. I felt his pain. I felt that shit. And he was looking kind of good, though. For real, though. He was. But anyway, usually they make the bad guys look real nice. But anyway, he had a lot of anger and pain. And he had some issues. But he had the right idea. He had the right idea. And even the prince had to take him up on his offer. And his woman, the woman that he was in love with, Lupita, she played her role. She was fierce. She was fighting for her people. You hear me? So, the evil cousin, he had the right idea. Like, we can use these resources in Wakanda to make sure our people don't have to live in poverty all throughout the earth. Our people don't have to live in poverty. We can eat good just like Wakandans eat good. You know? It just needs to be some balance and order. Because if you give the wrong people power that still have hatred and bitterness, it's going to go bad. Yes, you have to have some kind of anger to fuel you, because our ancestors were done dirty. So we got to have some of that anger to remember. We got to remember the facts. Yes, these people, you know, that are descendants of the invaders, you know, not all of them are on that same shit. But we got to remember, it's in their bloodline, it's in their DNA. We cannot forget. We cannot forget. So, he had the right idea. Use Africa's resources to help melanin people throughout the earth, throughout the world, because we are being discriminated against. We have been robbed of our resources, our throne, our empires, things of that nature. And now there are some tribes in Africa and the Americas and all throughout the earth that still live in the elements. They still live in the natural world, and they still have their empire, their throne, and their way of life. They do. So we do have some unconquered tribes. Like here in the Americas, we have the Miccosukee people. They are the unconquered. And the Seminoles, they have that unconquered blood in them. You know what I'm saying? That's our ancestry. So the Black Panther movie, it was awesome. It just made me want more. But it had the right idea, because he listened. The prince, he listened to what happened with his father and his uncle. He listened to his woman. He listened to wisdom from his woman. And he listened to his mother. But he listened to his evil cousin. But he had to fight his evil cousin. You know what I'm saying? He listened to that. And so he was a better king, because he took all of those things into consideration. He had wise counsel. He sifted through it all. And, you know, at the end, he bought up some land to have outreach centers, you know, and things of that nature, to start helping our people. And another thing I wanted to touch on before we get too deep in that was, they were talking about the ancestors. Praise the ancestors. Thank you to the ancestors. Ashe Ao. When he took those herbs and he went basically on a shamanistic journey into the astral realm. he got to speak to his father and see his other ancestors. And see, that's one thing that the Western world has tried to rob us of, speaking and hearing from our ancestors. They got us so focused on Abrahamic religions, that we're focused on these made-up fictional Messiah characters, when our ancestors want us to speak to them so that they can give us guidance and wisdom, so that we can remember that we are the Messiahs that we are waiting for. Only we can change our conditions, but we must get ourselves right, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Learn, know, heal, and master self. Then we can come together as a group and heal our people. Build our people back up. Build our economies back up. Restore and rebuild our communities. And so that's what I got from the Black Panther movie. It was a little bit of that. Rebuilding and restoring our communities worldwide, because melanated people are being discriminated against worldwide. And the spiritual realm, getting back to our spiritual roots. Getting back to our spiritual roots, okay? Being restored like the phoenix. Being restored like the phoenix. And this movie, it tapped into the healing of the divine masculine. The melanated divine masculine. Because here you had two cousins fighting each other over this throne. You know what I'm saying? When it's enough for everybody to eat. The vast resources in Africa, Alekbulan, and the vast resources here in the Americas, it's enough for us all to eat. But sometimes, you know, just like Harriet Tubman and other freedom fighters like John Horse and Nat Turner, they understood that everybody can't go to the promised land. Some people, they're going to have to be taken out because they don't have the mind, the spirit for it. Maybe next time around they will. But in this lifetime, they don't have the mind or the spirit for it because they're too colonized, or they're too out of touch with their divine spiritual self. So everybody can't go to the promised land. So I got that from the movie. But the cousin, he was flowing in darkness. And darkness can be seen two ways. I'm going to just break it down in two ways. It can be seen as in many ways. But the darkness of his bitter hatred and anger. His bitter hatred and anger. It had really poisoned him. Even though he had the right plan, he had the right idea, he had the right concept, and he was like at the end, like when you know he was defeated, he was like, the prince was like, we can still heal you, we can still heal you. He was offering healing to his family. He was like, we can still heal you. And he was like, y'all can just heal me and then lock me up. He was like, I'd rather be dead and be free than be locked up. And he was like my ancestors that jumped off the boat, because they rather be free than be a slave or a servant. So he had a lot of the right principles. And it's kind of like, if you put those two men together, the Black Panther and the Golden Jaguar, the Leopard in the Black Panther movie, it was the Leopard and the Black Panther. If you put them together and they become one, because you take those attributes and that vigor and that fierceness, that tenacity of the evil cousin, and then you put the brains and the spirit and the heart of the prince that was flowing in the Black Panther energy. If you put them together, That's an awesome man right there. That's an awesome man right there. That's like the blueprint. That's like the blueprint. But the evil cousin, he was like, I'm going to send this, it was some, it's not titanium, but it's some kind of metal, substance that is the strongest in the earth realm. They had that they had a whole mountain of that shit. And so he was like, we can arm our people all over the globe, you know, with artillery and resources that they need to protect themselves and build us back up in the world. He had the right idea, but everybody can't handle all that awesome firepower. You got to have wisdom and balance with that shit, because it's a time to strike. It's a time to war, and it's a time to be at peace. And it's a time to just flow in the middle, to where you flowing in a peaceful state, but you always ready for war. Like that type of energy. So I'm trying to think of all the other things that I saw in the movie, but it was just so, it was so awesome. So you have the golden jaguar, spiritual energy, and the midnight black jaguar energy, the Black Panther energy. It was awesome. Y'all know this is right up my alley, animal spirit medicine of my ancestors. And I just love how they kept, you know, taking it back to the ancestors and praise the ancestors. I loved it. I loved it. I just wanted more. I just wanted more. But it was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome to me. I just wanted more. I just wanted more. But like the technology, the regalia, their costumes, the gadgets, the place, the environment, it was just awesome. It was beautiful. It was just so, I mean, I really felt a sense of pride when I was watching it. How about y'all? I felt like a sense of pride. And it was just, it was awesome. It was awesome. So, so that energy, that Bast energy, that was the mother goddess. That was the mother goddess in the Black Panther movie. Bast is the balanced, ferocious cat. She has balance. She represents balance. Okay? Can't always flow in Sekhmet. The Sekhmet, that'll devour you. And it's just, it's so, it tips the scale so much. You gotta have some ma'at, some balance. And I got ma'at over here. You can see her in the background. This is her. Grab her right quick. You gotta have some ma'at. She has that feather of truth. Truth, balance, justice, morality. Okay. And the mother goddesses are just a depiction of different aspects of the divine feminine, the divine mother, the divine feminine energy. Okay, so that's my take on the Black Panther movie. Overview, since it is Black History Month, Melanin History Month, research how the Americas are connected to Alekbulan, Africa, and how Africa, Alekbulan, is connected to the Americas. And the key that brought it together, the key people that brought it together, in my opinion, and the record shows, the Olmec, the She people, the Tamoankin, they brought with them that spirituality of Alekbulan to the Americas. And the Maya, the Aztec, the Zapotec, Toltec, Mixtec, all of them, they flow in the same spirituality. They just have their own flavor with it. It's just like, we don't do everything totally how our ancestors did it, but we take what we have and we tweak it and we give it our flavor. We just got to have the same principles, the principles of balance. Balance